Well folks, welcome back to the workshop again. Today we're going to do this video, wee bit arse about this. We've got some spare parts just arrived, so we're going to fix up some machines that are sitting for a while now, waiting on some spare parts in. So haven't done videos on these, but we're going to do the end video on them. We got some Makita parts and some Bosch parts. Let's go through them here first. I'll not get all these into a video now, but we'll put in some of them. That'll be a whole video on its own. It's a tool holder for a Bosch GBH. That'll not be for now. That is a gear. That's a gear off GRW11E mixing drill, and that's the armature, I think, for it. That's another one we'll do another day. So it'll be a whole strip job. DC motor for a Bosch drill. We stick that on. And that there is an armature, I think. Know which one's which. This box is bust. Yeah, that's for the GRW11E mixing drill. This is for a Bosch GSH 5, for a boring hammer 5 actually. That's an armature. That is for a whole rebuild. He needs a whole new motor and a whole service kit. He needs everything basically. So that'll be for another video. What have we got here? Brush holder, eccentric cog gear. That's for the Bosch 5. Field and a field. Two fields. Not sure what this is now. These can be ordered, but they don't always come on straight away. There could be a couple of weeks wait to get them. You can't always remember what they were for. That is for a Bosch drill. It's just a brush holder. No. Bosch drill GBH2 or GBH4-32. That's another one I'm waiting on part for. Get that. We have two fields here. I think this is for another one of these Bosch hammer drills. I think one's for stock. I'll have to check the computer on them. There might be another one waiting on a field, but sometimes I order these in for stock as well, so I have to just check. But this, we can definitely put a motor onto this here wee drill. Do that in a little minute. For now, we'll go through the Makita stuff. A lot of this again is for stock. So they are the knobs for locking the slide and the LS1013 miter saws. And they are the wee steel rings for packing out the linkage arms. Moving the blade, they're just for stock. That it's a plastic bag with one tiny screw. All that for that. That there's the screw off a Bosch saw or grinder, one that has now the changeable stator, the field on it. So its electronic module is gone on a warranty. You had to change the electronic module, but it's not one piece anymore. They've made it separate. So you have to buy the stator, the electronic module, and the screws for attaching. That's one of the screws. You're meant to come in at 6. That's just a single one. Gear of a Bosch sander. I'm doing a video on that actually, so we'll leave that for another one. That's off a 99046, an old Bosch sander. And that looks like the stator for that screw. Yeah. That'll be for a warranty repair. And I must have 2 of them, do I? Yeah. As I got another one for stock. A single O-ring. Change the lever. That's for big hammer. That's for stock. The other wee covers for the Makita SDS drills for the change knob. The brush holders for the Makita SDS drills. I think they were just for stock. Linkage arms for the Makita miter saws, stock again. The front knob for the rotation, and the lever for locking. They're actually for 2 saws that are actually whipping them in. and the rest is for stock. And these are for stock as well. They're off the older 9045 end sander. There's just none of them left, so I ordered a couple of them in. That's just a wee sponge base for whenever the sandpaper wears through. You can replace the wee sticky base on it. Stick them with the stock. Right, I'll start with the drill here. So some of the ones waiting on parts sitting here in these here rack zone boxes. That's the one the stators are for. Makita grinder. I think that's just scrap. They were dismantled for parts. And this is the one I'm waiting the motor for. So this is actually one of two. DeWalt one is already fixed. That got a new brush ring fitted inside of here. It's just waiting on this one now. So this is just a straight swap. Motor just changed over. These things cost about €150 to buy. These here wee Bosch drills, not expensive. GSR180 or something like that, I think it is. But the motor only costs about €40 or €50, so it's well worth putting the motor into it. And a set of brushes as well. Or actually, the brushes might even be on the motor already. These boxes as well, these are the ones sent in from Rackzone about a year or two ago. They sent these in along with a big system of shelves. These here are actually fantastic boxes. They're massive. They're great because you can fit a whole hammer inside of this here fully dismantled. Most of the other boxes are just too small. These are great jobs. Just give that a wee wipe down. I'm just going to give that a quick wee blow of the compressor as well. Yeah, it's not as bad as it looks. Just blow it, switch it a wee bit. A quick wee clean. Do the same with that actually. Just cover the holes, make sure nothing goes on. Right, and exactly much to these things. The motor side is basically just switch a body and a motor, and then you got a gearbox in. Can't buy anything inside of this either. So these are basically 4 components inside. Your motor comes with a whole block with the brushes already attached as well. Decent motor too. What else? Your Johnson one. The tricky bit is we have to solder these on. Right, the wee Milif. Hope I've not powering this battery now. I've only got the 118 volt DeWalt battery. Well, I've got a 54 volt one there. I don't have enough in this, but I'm sure we can use that one. Switch that on. Get some solder. Generally, I always put a bit of extra solder onto these here just to soften the old stuff first. Just helps take it off that a little bit easier. See what I mean? It pops nicely out. Spread it all over. It comes straight out. And I'll see how to get the actual holes shown again. But it would remelt again. Heat it up and just throw it. That'll show up the hole. So you can get your new motor leads on. Right there, we'll just pick off again. Saves me any messing around. Just get this red one on first. One. Swell polarity doesn't matter a massive amount, but it was annoying if you reverse it because your switch will be reversed then. Try put them back on the way they came off. Like it'll still run, but whenever you switch the forward reverse lever over, to go forward, it'll actually go reverse and the other way around. You can still use it, but if it's for a customer, he'll not like the fact that it's changed on him, because they've worked this for so long that the motor actually wears out and the brushes wear out in it. That means he's been using it a long time and he'll be well used to the way it is. Changing it, and he'll not be happy. Now, for that one, there's a new motor wired on. Just have to get this all back in again. But there's not exactly much to it. This little spring just goes down here for your battery retainer. It's just to give it a bit of a spring back into the battery to keep it tighter. Pop that on, make sure your LED lights on. Just pop your switch in next. And when it's sitting there, then you can get your motor into place and get this little ferrule boy sitting where they need to be. Don't forget your change lever, make sure it's engaged. That there's for your gear selector on your gearbox. I think that's just about it. Yeah, forget about that. Get the drill. Three parts basically, or four parts inside of this. There's not much to fix. Not many parts available, but the ones you can get is just one solid piece. So if you were fixing it yourself at home outside of warranty, it's a bit easier to do. And Bosch isn't too bad for the parts. Now, these wouldn't be the most expensive drills in the world. A lot of people just wouldn't fix them beyond this year. If you're doing it for any sort of random stuff, I would recommend something a bit heavier. But this man's just doing light stuff. It's never doing anything heavy. It's just doing a little bit often until eventually that motor wears out. So the more suits him just to replace the motor. So it's a new motor, the brushes are already in it. Get rid of that. And just make sure she actually works. When you fit a new motor, you'll probably see a wee spark coming out of here. That's perfectly normal. That's just because the brushes are that fresh and there's a brake on it, and the brake's that sharp, it will make a flash and arc. But that'll die down after a little bit of time. That's one wee cheapo Bosch drill with a new motor. Now, this one has been floating around for about a month or two. I originally tried a switch in this thing, it turned out not to be the case, and I had to order parts in, I had to wait for a switch to come in. Then whenever it came in, then I realised there was another problem with it as well. So, can't even remember what the other problem is now. It's been sitting that long, so it's already got a switch. And this is pulled out, so that may have something to do with it. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself what you were doing. So you have this field for it and the brush holder. So I actually ordered these two parts. Normally it's the field in these, but I think I might have just ordered the field for stock. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm wrong. Probably just ordered this for stock. Brushes are fairly fresh, not too right. We'll keep that. Test this. Yeah, field. Right. So we'll just stick that in now. I'll leave the handle where it is. Whether it'll be the old one or this here newer model, the field was always the main thing that eventually went on them. They do an awful lot of work before it does go. It's not like it's just a regular thing. These are just tight to get opened. There we go. That out. Pull out the brush leads. You can just separate the whole drill innards from the handle. The actual armature should be alright in this. Looks fine. There we go. Unbroken contact or spade connector on the field. You could solder that if you want, if you're at home. It will work. I've done it plenty of times myself. Especially if the customer's screaming at you, just wanting it back as quick as possible. But it is a short-term fix. If this has gone weak and broken, by the time you solder that, you have 3 more that will eventually do the same thing. So you get longer runtime out of it, which the customer wants. You just replace the field itself. It doesn't cost that much. It just saves you from doing several repairs over the course of a year or two. Stick one of these on and it'll run for a good few years. What is this thing? So that's 2019, so 5 or 6 years work it's already done. I just need a new field now. I'm just going to give that a quick wee blast. Quick wee dust. Drop this in. Just be careful. That's going in right. You want to miss them spades and bend them. There's one of these 2 little tiny screws holding that field in. Well, it's not really holding it on, they're just holding it there. Squeezed in anyway, can't really come out. That's on there. Bearings are also fine. Little arrow goes to the front. And that's it. So originally this wasn't switching on. The switch had actually failed on it. And whenever I changed the switch, got it running, it was starting and stopping. Then we tested this, and we realized our brake down here didn't go any further, just assumed it would be the field. It generally always is. Not unusual to get something on with two problems. The fields can be giving them trouble and starting and stopping, but they just try to keep going with it anyway. They just batter on with it until eventually something else gets in trouble, something else goes, like the field, and then it comes in for repair. This wee piece of foam just sits up there. And that should be another one fixed. This, there's two little springs either side, makes you there in the middle. Pull back your brushes, that should just slide down. Now, see what that's like. Perfect. The wee Bosch up and running for not that bad of money. Well, a wee bit more because there was two actual problems in this. When you get machines on and you fix one thing and find another problem, make sure you leave the old part with the machine. It's not hard to just go ahead and throw this out and just assume you're going to remember what you already did. But if it takes a month to get that there field or the part you're waiting on, by the time you get back to it then, you stick it on, you could have forgotten you've already put the part onto it and forget the charge for the switch. So always leave the bit you've already done with the machine, just to remind you. That's it. I'll keep that man running. These things here, well worth fixing up. That field, not sure what it is, 40 or 50 euro for the field, maybe 20 or 30 euro for a switch. Their whole repair could be costing 100, 120 euro altogether. But these here things cost like 400 or 500 euro for these here machines. These are the big SDS Plus machines, not the wee small L-shaped drills. These are the pistol grip drills. These are the expensive ones for doing lots and lots of work. So these here things costing 400 or 500 euro. It's well worth actually repairing them up if there's an issue with the motor or the gearbox. These things are designed to be fixed and kept going for 20 or 30 years. Now, this is another part that came on. The controller, the Makita skill saw. This is actually from another video. Done a wee video recently, about a week or two ago, of a bunch of Makita tools in a big plastic box. The Makita repair-a-thon video. This is the one I ordered a controller for. So we'll stick that onto here too, get it out of the road. still have to do the other bunch of machines from that customer, so this can be added on to that pile. So that was only ordered there in a couple of, well, just over a week ago. Didn't take long to come on. A new one of those. Just change over these little leads. Get rid of the old one. Seems kind of greasy or oily inside of here. I don't know what that's from. I'll get this new one on. It's a fairly easy change and not expensive. Now these wee controllers aren't that much. They cost like 20 or 30 euro. Well worth replacing them now at this stage. The saw is also not all that expensive to replace too, mind you. But I wouldn't recommend cutting this out. You could just remove this and just run it directly off the switch, but I wouldn't recommend it. You're just going the right way to destroy batteries. And also make sure you twist these wires together when you're putting them on to this here switch, because it's a thick wire and a thin wire. If you don't twist them, you'll only clamp the thick wire. The wee thin one won't be connected, it'll fall out again. Just twist them as you're putting them on. Also just check your battery retainer. Make sure it hasn't got melted or anything. You can tell underneath here, these three little silver spots, these are your contacts. If you see them darkened or the plastic melted over them, you know that's gone as well. This one seems okay. Just get the lighter leads down here first. And use the thicker, heavier ones to hold them down. Maybe we put it that way so more room. I prefer a smaller one for this, but I haven't got a smaller one, so bigger one's just going to have to do. I'll just cut it down a little bit to help it fit. Now, that should be it. Make sure everything's in place. Nothing's going to get crimped or caught in the wires. That's great. These are nice quick fixes. You already have the problem sorted. If you know the problem, it's just a matter of putting it back together again with a new part. Get through them nice and quick, but they are torture to go back to the part. The machine's waiting on spare parts. You have to spend a wee bit of time on these and you feel like you're getting nothing done for the day. So at least they're quick. There's a big pile of machines outside the door still having to come on here, so you feel like you're not getting on with them. shape of that there. Lock it in. That'll do. And that should get this up and running again. Now, that's order. It always does. Actually, surprisingly enough, don't burn out the motor too often. It's normally, as always, the controller and the odd time, maybe a set of brushes. That's the main thing that goes wrong with these here. Only a cheap we saw, but still, the DDS611, still worth changing that controller if it ever burns out in you. It's a lot cheaper than actually buying a new saw. Leave something inside this. What the hell is that? Look at that. Good job we've seen that. Nice big nail as well. And some staples. Jammed up inside the guard. Make sure that's clear. There'll be some cracks switching that thing on with the blade. And have that stuff go flying at you. As it happens, you keep it in a dirty box. That's gets stuck everywhere. Keep your tools clean, not have any accidents. You imagine a blade getting that and throwing around the place. Something to get got in your eye. Right, I'll finish up on this one, the biggest one. The Bosch GBH 8/45. Haven't even opened this here yet. Just went ahead, ordered on the tool holder because that's the main thing that's actually gone. So it's not holding the chisels because the keyways down inside of here. They're all gone. You can only see a wee bit of the actual locks. Like those keyways, it can't hold a chisel, especially in a boring hammer. It'll just span, it won't actually be able to bore a hole. But even a hammer only, once it twists over it all, it'll just drop out too. So they're pretty useless if the keyways are gone. So I have to remove this, replace this here tool holder to get it hammering right again. Now, I don't know if it needs anything else. I don't think it did. I'm pretty sure I just ordered this. Well, might need brushes as well, with red lights on. Doesn't sound bad. It sounds like it's hitting. Yeah, it is hitting. As you can see, it's going on any oil which way. Shouldn't be just going on like that. And then it's getting stuck as well. Right. I'll change this out. This isn't actually too bad a repair. It's fairly easy to do. And it only needs to be done. These things have done an awful lot of work. What is she? Well, she's actually a 2023. Now this crowd would do a hell of a lot of work. They'd also use the Makita hammers. And they would literally, throughout the lifespan of that Makita hammer, when they have it, they could put 4 or 5 motors onto it. And they don't just burn out. They actually wear the motor out and wear through the con bar. So it's no surprise that this is worn through. Look at the actual stops. Look at that. It's meant to be round the whole way around. This was actually locking in your chisel. The keyways stop it from rotating, and then these here actually lock it to stop it from coming out. They allow the chisel to actually go up and down. So the keyways go into this here, or the keyways inside the tool holder go into these here channels. These here 3, and then the locks go into these here ones. So as you can see, they're just a slot inside. They've got a top and bottom, so it can just go on up and down. but can't come out. You can see that there's just worn through, simply because the keyway is gone and it's allowed to keep rotating round on this here pin until it wears it through. So we'll have to replace them too, which is an extra bit of money because they're not cheap. That one's the same lot. Wash the other bits down too. Now this one ain't too bad because it's just a screw holding this cover on then. That out, whole cover can come off. Now give that a wee quick wash before we go any further, because I have to get another sleeve off and get the pins out. Right, the cleaner we can see what we're doing. Do a wee bit more cleaning yet. I shall do it before I take that out. That's a bit better, so we can see what we're doing. Your pins can all come out. This is the beauty of one of these here machines. You can actually change the tool holder without taking everything out. Because then you want to dismantle the whole machine, you can pull out these pins and just replace the tool holder on its own. And these are a little bit worn too. And I'm not sure if I have any more of these, but I'm not sure if I would replace them now, because this man is not going to want to spend a fortune on this machine. It's tight. Right, that should just pull out. Let's get them thrown. Right enough, let's holding that back. God, this is well stuck on there. There we go. Don't see any damage down in there. No metal. No other stuff like that. If you give it a wee wipe inside, you'll see wee flecks of steel. Wee shiny spots like glitter. Sign something else is gone. That's alright. Nothing actually wrong in there. Your tool holder. Just perfectly round hole, nothing inside. Not even the remnants of the keyways. So that has to go. So the impact bolt looks alright. No damage in that. Must be just getting stuck on this for whatever reason. We also want to keep that little O-ring. replace it if you like, but it's only just for keeping a little bit of oil on. It's not for compression. We can just reuse that. Keep the cost down a little bit. Now, let's check out the new one. Ah, lovely. Comes with the actual pins and that O-ring anyway. Not all brands do actually. A lot of them don't actually send you these on. You have to buy them separately. And the cost about €2.50 each. So you have to replace 6 of them. You're on another €15 for that. Just after cleaning the bench here today, wash the whole thing down with kerosene. I'm already getting it clattered again. So that, I'd say, is the holes for the pins, because the pins are worn. I probably wore these here holes, these bores a little bit. So that's getting a wee bit tight now. Yeah, you can see a couple of wee vertical lines there, especially there, look. I'm just going to give it a little rub, just to make it a bit freer. You don't need big fancy pieces of equipment, but a wet and dry. Should be all we need. Wet and dry, and a wee touch of WD. The compression is up inside of here, not here at the front. We don't need to worry about what we do. We just don't want it slack. All I'm doing is picking off a little burr. There we go. It's a lot better. Just allow that to slide on, that's it. Right. Now we know that works. Pull these out, put on this O-ring. Just put a wee touch of grease on here, not much. Just to keep them lubed. If you've done too much like that, it's hard to get the pins on. Roll that down. Now, just take the opportunity now to get a bit of grease onto there. That'll help the hammer wit. Not going to change the O-rings because they do seem to be hammering fine. Now, first pin. First one will be the hardest to get on. Now, that's it on, attached. Now you need to make sure them pins are in, because otherwise this doesn't slide back on. Just give it a wee wipe too. See what I mean? Just persuade them. Give them a wee squeeze. That'll help expel a bit of grease. Now it'll go on. There's also a little O-ring for there too. So there must be pressure inside or something. You can hear air escaping. That little O-ring's just to dampen down that metal plate. Before we go any further, I'm going to just clean these bits down, leave them nice and fresh. Now, let's get this on, and then I must go and look for some of the stops. Hopefully I have some of them in stock. Still making that noise. That'll go away the second I hit the start button. Let's see if we've got any of these now. Now Bosch had a few of these different stops on the market for different machines. But I think these particular ones were on older machines as well. There's an old box for a Bosch GSH5. I think these still suited. Yeah. That's the same thing there. Tell by the wee circle here. You can see it's on this side too. I got two of them. Spot on. Use up the old stock because these here, for this machine now to buy in, cost €10 each. You need two of them. So that, if I had to order them, would cost me €20 extra. So using these old ones, keep the price down a little bit more. They're still brand new, it's just they're off an older hammer that doesn't cost as much for them. Now, rebuild this, it's a little rubber ring, just sits on there, it's just to cushion the spring. And the Xing disc, just make sure that's not broken either. Sometimes these ends break off. And if that wee plate breaks, the chisel won't come back out again. It'll be stuck because that they actually pulls these two stops down and clears it so the chisel can come out. If it snaps, one will stay up and keep it locked in. Right, that'll now hold the chisel. Next thing I need to do is just check the brushes because that wee red light's on. That should be her. Yeah, just about gone. That had already popped too, look. See the lead, this wee boy here, when that wears through first, that's what actually goes through first, not the pin. When that wears through, that touches the comm bar and switches on your wee red light. That's what that there lead's for. In the middle then there's actually a wee plastic pin on a spring built in, so when it keeps on running then past this, that spring pops free, pops out and actually pushes the brush away from the armature and stops the machine, kills it dead. So then it won't run then until you put new brushes on. But sometimes boys will then open it up, see it's worn, pull out the plastic pin. You didn't even take the spring out of this one, but take the pin out, put the brushes back in, and then allow it to keep on running for a bit longer. Not a good idea, because this is still rubbing and eventually get to that spring as well. Plus that'll be arcing a little bit from that hole. That's just not good for the machine. Plus, if you're going to that extent, it's because you could be bothered going to get a set of brushes and you'll end up forgetting and just keep on running it anyway for a couple of extra hours until it wears down completely and then starts cooking your armature. So when they stop, especially when they put on the red light, get a new set of brushes. Like, it's not like it's something you have to do all the time. It's not like they constantly wear out and you have to keep doing this. They're big brushes that go into these things. You can see how much that thing there is worn down. Big long brush. So you don't have to do this too often. They do last a good long time. Hundreds of hours of run time. That's a little bit damaged. That just got a wee bit bent. It's a wee bit bent. Technically you need to put a new brush holder on for that, but hopefully we'll get away without. It's just against that side, it's tight. It's hard to bend this back without bending the rest of it again. That's better. Nice and free. Doesn't take much to bend them. Or at least bend them back. They shouldn't get bent to begin with. Right, that should be her. And don't run it without this bottom cover. Don't be thinking you want to see if it's sparking or not. Never run it without that bottom plate, because that's pushing the armature up. If you run it without it, the armature is going to drop down, rub in the air deflector, melt the plastic. Whenever you stop running it, then the two is going to cool down together and actually stick together, and it'll not run. So just make sure that cover's on. That should be the last of this bunch of buns waiting on parts. Be nice to get these here back to the customers now. So no more red light. Should be hammering fine now. That's her. That wee delay was just the grease I pumped on behind the actual hammer and side that had to squeeze past the striker bolt first. That's her. That's a bunch of stuff that was waiting on spare parts, all fixed up. But there's a few other to do, sanders and hammers and mixers and that, but I'll do them in other videos. A video on them at all. They're a lot more complicated, it'll take longer to do, so I'll do them separately. But that's it, folks. That's some parts and a few extra machines fixed up and ready to go back to the customers. Anyway, that's it. That's all for today. As always, folks, if you're enjoying the tool repair videos, make sure to hit that like and follow button to help out the channel. And if you want to help it out anymore, you can also hit that hype button there as well. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and I'll chat to you again the next time. Cheers.